What's up, guys? Welcome to the Playbook Sports Podcast. Coming at you with another video today. As you've seen from our previous few videos, we have a new series out, NFL Scripts 2023-2024 season, brought to you by Roger Goodell himself. These are his words, not ours. Not ours. So if you have a problem with them, go holler at Raj for us. With great power comes great responsibility. As you know, Roger Goodell is the judge, jury, and executioner of the NFL. However, he did not trust all of us to have all of these scripts individually, so he's divvied up the 8 divisions amongst the 4 of us guys here on this podcast. He's given me the AFC South and the AFC East. So before we dive into this series and these divisions, Nate, let the people know who this podcast and this video today is brought to you by.
I want to give a special shout out to today's sponsors, starting with Gold Fine and Bowles, lawyers for the injured. Personal injury, workers' compensation, those are their 2 things, but any sort of legal advice, they're the people to call. Give them a phone call, 309-673-5144. Tell them we sent you, okay? And I'd also like to shout out SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video as well. Use promo code PlaybookSports on their website to get $20 off your first purchase of $30 or more. Let's get back to the video.
Thanks, Nate. As you guys can tell by the title of this video, today we'll be talking about the New York Football Jets in this video. Let's see what Roger Goodell has written for the script for the 2023-2024 NFL season for your New York Jets. Let's start at the end because I'm impatient. I like to see the end and see the journey going back to the front. Final record for your Jets this season. Roger Goodell and the NFL have the Jets finishing 11-6 on the year, going 4-2 against AFC East opponents, making the playoffs. Wow. Jets in the playoffs. It's something you don't see very often in my lifetime, at least. Jets secure the 7th seed, being the final wild card team, going to Buffalo the first round of the playoffs to face the 2-seeded Bills. Wow. Roger Goodell does have the Jets winning 1 NFL award this year. Behind the spotlight that Aaron Rodgers has brought to New York, the Jets will be in the mainstream eye a lot more, right in the media's attention in the heart of New York, the media capital of the world. And Sauce Gardner will be your defensive player of the year for the 2023-2024 season, according to Roger Goodell and the NFL. Quite a feat for a second-year player. No sophomore slump for Sauce, I suppose. Wow, defensive player of the year, impressive. Congratulations to him. Let's break down the home and road opponents for the Jets this season and see the splits there. Coming to New York this year, will be the Kansas City Chiefs, the Philadelphia Eagles, the LA Chargers, the Atlanta Falcons, the Houston Texans, the Washington football team, and then their division opponents, the Bills, the Patriots, and the Dolphins as well. A lot of their tougher games are going to be at home this year, which, me personally, I think the NFL is giving it to them. Roger, what are we doing? Are we being gracious to the Jets? What have the Jets done to deserve this? What have Rodgers done to deserve this? Wow. I don't know if I agree. Road games this year, we will see the Jets go to Dallas to face my Cowboys. They will go to Denver to face the Broncos. They will go to New York to face the Giants, to Vegas to face the Raiders, to Cleveland to face the Broncos, and to Buffalo, Miami, and New England as well to play their 3 division opponents. Let's see what they do schedule-wise. How do they get to the 11-6? How do they get to the 4-2 in the division? And how do they secure the 7th seed in the AFC playoffs this year? Starting off September, 9-11 in New York against the Bills, week 1, Monday Night Football. They beat the Bills 27-24 in a shootout. Too much time on the clock for Aaron Rodgers. He goes down week 1. I'm here. Makes his name in New York in week 1. 27-24 victory over the Bills in week 1. Week 2, we see the Jets go to my Dallas Cowboys down in Dallas. And yet again, Aaron Rodgers continues his domination over the Dallas Cowboys organization, winning 31-23 in Dallas week 2. Week 3, we see the Jets return home to face the New England Patriots, where they will no longer be the Patriots' bitch. They will no longer be getting swept by the Patriots this year. Finally, the Jets put their foot down. They beat the Patriots 23-14 in a defensive battle in week 3, finishing the month of September 3-0 for the Jets, starting off the season hot. Expectations were already high. Now people are going to be even more delusional after week 3. Thank you, Raj, for that one. Breaking down opponents here, I'd argue about maybe 2 of those. Obviously, being a Cowboy homer, I'd argue that's a tough game. However, I am realistic, and I know what Rodgers does to the Cowboys every time, or at least it seems like every time he plays the Cowboys. I probably agree. I think he beats Dallas in Dallas. At home against the Bills week 1, I don't know. I think the Bills are still the class of the AFC East. and one of the best teams in the league. So I'm interested in that game. I'd probably say 2-1. I think they lose one of those first two games. But Roger has them 3-0. So ambitious, Roger. 3-0 for Roger in the month of September, 2-1 for myself. I don't know if I agree with him sweeping those two opponents to start the year. All right, 3-0 after 1 month. We start October. Tough game in New York, though. They host the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, they will lose 24-20. Too much Patrick Mahomes. Discount double check. We got the State Farm Bowl in week 4. Patrick Mahomes comes out victorious. First loss for Rodgers, first loss for the Jets. Spoiler for the month as well in October. Kind of a tough month as well for the Jets. Week 5, after their first loss, we see them go to Denver in week 5 and get their second loss of the season, 27-23 in Denver this year. Week 6, a third straight loss when they host the Philadelphia Eagles, and questions are starting to fly, and Rodgers is starting to get a little hot-tempered with that New York media. Week 6, they host the Eagles, and they lose in overtime, 26-20 on an A.J. Brown touchdown in overtime, moving their record to 3-3. Starting the year 3-0 in September, losing 3 straight to start October, going into that bye week, week 7, and we get 2 weeks of media coverage. We get 2 weeks of them bleeding every single morning show and ridiculing Rodgers and if he's able to handle the show in New York. 3-3, as I mentioned, bye week, week 7 goes into the bye, much needed bye for the Jets. Week 8, they come out of the bye playing the New York Giants. It's a road game, but it's not a road game. It'll be a split crowd for sure. Going to New York week 8, and they will beat the Giants 27-21, moving to 4-3 on the season. 1-3 month in October for the Jets. I'd probably agree with that. I could see 2-2 if they beat the Eagles or beat the Chiefs at home. But those two teams won the Super Bowl last year for a reason, and they both didn't lose, honestly, a whole lot on either side of the ball. I'd probably agree with Roger 1-3. However, I could see a 2-2 very realistically for the Jets in the month of October. All right, let's move into November. They start November week 9, hosting the LA Chargers. Well, they will win their 5th game of the year, moving to 5-3 by a final score of 34-28. A lot of fireworks in New York that day. However, the Jets finish out on top. Week 10, we get a nice best friend reunion when Aaron Rodgers and the Jets visit Vegas and the Raiders and Devontae Adams. However, A-Rod comes out on top, and the Jets beat the Raiders 31-20. Too much defense for Jimmy G and the Raiders if Jimmy G's even still playing at that point in the year. Too much for Josh McDaniels to handle. 6-3 after 10 weeks for your Jets. They go to Buffalo in week 11, where they will lose 24-20 in a defensive battle. Too much Buffalo, too late in this game. Bills win, moving the Jets to 6-4 through 11 weeks. Week 12, they host the Miami Dolphins. Well, they will finish the month of November victorious with a 23-17 victory over the Miami Dolphins. Defensive battle by this final score, Roger, 23-17. You got a great defense with the Jets and Robert Saleh's coaching. You got a great defense in Miami and Vic Fangio taking over as defensive coordinator, play caller there. Defensive battle in week 12. Jets finish on top. Jets finish the month of November 3-1. And looking at it now myself, I probably disagree with Roger here. Roger has them 3-1, beating the Chargers, Raiders, and Dolphins while losing the Bills. I'd argue they probably lose 2 of those games, the Chargers, Bills, Dolphins. I think they for sure lose at Buffalo, and they probably lose one of those 2 home games to the Chargers or to the Dolphins as well. So I probably disagree with Roger as far as the month of November, but Roger is the only person that matters in these videos. We're going with what he says. He has the Jets going 3-1 in November. 7-4 through 3 months, 7-4 through 12 weeks. Moving into December, the Jets start December with a couple of home games. There are a couple of softballs for them. They host the Atlanta Falcons in week 13, where they will move to 8-4 behind a 27-21 victory in week 13. Week 14, they host the Houston Texans. Well, they will destroy the Houston Texans in week 14, according to Roger Goodell. 34-20, first 4 touchdown game for Aaron Rodgers and the gang, moving to 9-4 on the season. Week 15, they travel to Miami, where they will not be accustomed to that heat and that weather. However, they will fight for a 24-24 end of regulation. However, in overtime, Jets win the toss. First play, they want to take a shot. You know how Rodgers is, likes to come out firing, maybe get a free defensive pass interference. Picked off Jalen Ramsey, returns it into field goal range. The Dolphins center it, melt the clock as much as they want, kick the additional game-winning field goal. Jets lose to Miami in Week 15 in overtime, 27-24. Week 16, the Jets return home after a devastating loss, where they will move on to 10-5 on the season, throttling the Washington football team 28-10, in a likely tanking effort by Washington at this point in the season. Week 17, the Jets travel to Cleveland, where they will lose to the Cleveland Browns behind a big Nick Chubb game. 2 rushing touchdowns for Nick Chubb in this game, over 140 yards rushing, 27-20 Browns in Week 17, moving the Jets to 10-7 on the season. January is where we'll move. Well, let's talk about December, actually. Roger has the Jets going 3-2 in December, and I probably agree 3-2. I could see 4-1 as well, depending how the Browns look at that point in the season. I think the Jets do lose in Miami, as mentioned in the Dolphins and the Bills video for this division. I think the Jets, Bills, and Dolphins, all 3 split home and homes. I don't see a scenario where one of those teams sweep either of the other 2 teams. I think they all go 3-3 or home and home in those games. Okay, let's move to January. I probably agree with Raj in December, 3-2. However, I could see 4-1 as well. But let's stick with Raj. He's the expert here. He's the one fixing all these games, giving us the script. January, Week 18, one game in January. They will travel to New England and the Patriots, where they'll be. Sorry, I got caught for a second. They'll be traveling to the Patriots in Week 18 in a must-win to secure that 7 seed. They will beat the Patriots 24-13 in a defensive battle, finishing the season 11-6 record, finishing 4-2 in the AFC East, securing that 7 seed in the playoffs, and securing the Defensive Player of the Year for Sauce Gardner. That's what Roger Goodell has scripted for the New York Jets for the 2023-2024 season. Do you agree with Roger, 11-6? Do you agree with me, probably 10-7, 9-8? Let us know down below. What do you guys have the Jets going this season? Let us know. We'll see you guys in the next video.